Richard let me speak with him?
No, my good lord, therefore be patient.
Hastings and Edward's children, Grey and Rivers, holy King Henry, and thy fair son Edward, Vaughan, and all that have miscarried by underhand, corrupted, foul injustice, if that your moody, discontented souls do through the clouds behold this present hour, even for revenge, mock my destruction. This is All Souls' Day, fellow, is it not?
It is.
Why then, All Souls' Day is my body's doomsday. This is the day which, in King Edward's time, I wished might fall on me when I was found false to his children and his wife's allies. This is the day wherein I wished to fall by the false faith of him whom I most trusted. This All Souls' Day, to my fearful soul, is the determined respite of my wrongs. That high all-seer which I dallied with hath turned my feigned prayer on my head, and given in earnest when I begged in jest. Thus doth he force the swords of wicked men to turn their own points in their masters' bosoms. Thus Margaret's curse falls heavy on my neck, when he, quoth she, shall split thy heart with sorrow. Remember, Margaret was a prophetess. Come, lead me, officers, to the block of shame. Wrong hath but wrong, and blame the due of blame.
Fellows in arms, and my most loving friends, bruised underneath the yoke of tyranny, thus far into the bowels of the land, have we marched on without impediment. And to receive we from our father Stanley lines of far comfort and encouragement. The wretched, bloody, and usurping board that spoiled your summer fields and fruitful vines, swills your warm blood like wash, and makes his trout. In your emboweled bosoms, this foul swine is now even in the center of this isle, near to the town of Leicester, as we learned from Tamworth thither, but one day's march. In God's name, cheerly on, courageous friends, to reap the harvest of perpetual peace by this one bloody trial of sharply. And then, all for our advantage, then in God's name march. True hope is swift, and flies with swallows' wings. Kings it makes gods, and meaner creatures kings.
Up with my tent, here will I lie tonight. But where tomorrow? Well, all's one for that, who hath described the number of the traitors.
6,000 or 7,000 is their utmost power.
Why, our battalia trebles that account. Besides, the king's name is a tower of strength, which they upon the adverse faction won. Up with the tent, come noble gentlemen, let us survey and vantage on the ground. Call for some men of sound direction. Let's lack no discipline, make no delay, for lords, tomorrow is a busy day.
The weary sun hath made a golden set, and by the bright track of his fiery car gives token of a goodly day tomorrow. Sir William Brandon, you shall bear my standard. Give me some ink and paper in my tent. I'll draw the form and model of our battle. Limit each leader to a several charge, and part in just proportion of our small power. My Lord of Oxford, you, Sir William Brandon, and you, Sir Walter Herbert, stay with me. The Pearl of Pembroke keeps his regiment. Good Captain Blunt, bear my good night to him. And by the second hour in the morning, desire the Earl to see me in my tent. Yet one thing more, good Captain, do for me. Where is the Lord Stanley quartered? Do you know?
Unless I have mistaken his colors much, which, well, I am assured I have not done, his regiment lies half a mile, at least, south from the mighty power of the king.
If without peril it be possible, sweet Blunt, make some good means to speak with him, and give him from me this most needful note.
Upon my life, my lord, I'll undertake it, and so God give you quiet rest tonight.
Good night, good Captain Blunt. Come, gentlemen, let us consult upon tomorrow's business. Into my tent, the dew is raw and cold.
What is o'clock?
It's supper time, my lord. It's 9 o'clock.
I will not sup tonight. Give me some ink and paper. What is my beaver easier than it was, and all my armor laid into my tent?
It is, my liege, and all things are in readiness.
Send out a pursuivant in arms to Stanley's regiment. Bid him bring his power before sunrising, lest his son George fall into the blind cave of eternal night.
All comfort that the dark night can afford be to thy person, noble father-in-law. Tell me, how fares our loving mother?
I, by attorney, bless thee from thy mother, who prays continually for Richmond's good. So much for that. The silent hours steal on, and flaky darkness breaks within the east. In brief, for so the season bids us be, prepare thy battle early in the morning, and put thy fortune to the arbitrament of bloody strokes and mortal staring war. I, as I may, that which I would I cannot, with best advantage will deceive the time and aid thee in this doubtful shock of arms. But on thy side I may not be too forward, lest, being seen thy brother, tender George, be executed in his father's sight. Farewell. The leisure and the fearful time cuts off the ceremonious vows of love and ample interchange of sweet discourse, which so long sundered friends should dwell upon. God give us leisure for these rites of love. Once more, adieu. Be valiant and speed well.
Good lords, conduct him to his regiment. I'll strive with troubled thoughts to take a nap, lest leaden summer pies me down tomorrow, when I should mount with wings of victory. Once more, good night, kind lords and gentlemen. O thou, whose captain I count myself, look on my forces with a gracious eye. Put in their hands thy bruising irons of wrath, that they may crush down with the heavy fall the usurping comets of our adversaries. Make us thy ministers of chastisement, that we may praise thee in the victory. To thee I do commend my watchful soul. Here I let fall the windows of mine eyes, sleeping and walking. Oh, defend me still. Now I go to bed. Let me sit heavy on thy soul tomorrow. Think how thou stabbedst me in my prime of youth, and took me. Despair therefore and die.
Richard, thy wife, that wretched Anne thy wife, that never slept a quiet hour with thee, now fills thy sleep with perturbations. Tomorrow in the battle, think on me, and fall thy edgeless sword, despair and die. The first was I that helped thee to the crown, the last was I that felt thy tyranny. Oh, in the battle, think on Buckingham, and die in terror of thy guiltiness. Dream on, of bloody deeds and death. Fainting despair, despairing, yield thy breath.
Give me another horse, bind up my wounds. Have mercy, Jesu. Soft I did but dream. O cowarded conscience, how dost thou afflict me? The lights burn blue, it is now dead midnight. Cold fearful drops stand on my trembling flesh. What do I fear? Myself? There's none else by. Richard loves Richard, that is, I am I. Is there a murderer here? No. Yes, I am. Then fly. What from myself? Great reason why, lest I revenge. What myself upon myself? Alack, I love myself. Wherefore, for any good that I myself have done unto myself. Oh no, alas, I rather hate myself, for hateful deeds committed by myself. I am a villain, yet I lie, I am not. Fool, of thyself speak well, fool, do not flatter. My conscience doth 1,000 several tongues, and each tongue brings in a several tale. And every tale condemns me for a villain. Perjury in the highest degree. Murder, stern murder, in the direct degree. All several sins, all used in each degree, throng to the bar, crying all, guilty, guilty. I shall despair, there is no creature loves me. And wherefore should I they, since that I myself find in myself no pity to myself. Methought the souls of all that I had murdered came to my tent, and every one did threat tomorrow's vengeance on the head of Richard.
More than I have said, loving countrymen, the leisure and enforcement of the time forbids to dwell upon. Yet remember this, God and our good cause fight upon our side. The prayers of holy saints and wronged souls, like high-reared bulwarks, stand before our faces. Richard except, those whom we fight against, had rather have us win than him they follow. For what is he they follow? Truly, gentlemen, a blood tyrant and a homicide, one raised in blood and in one blood established, one that made means to come by what he hath, and slaughtered those that were the means to help him. A base foul stone made precious by the foil of England's chair, where he is falsely set. One that hath ever been God's enemy. Then if you fight against God's enemy, God will in justice award you as his soldiers. If you do sweat to put a tyrant down, you sleep in peace, the tyrant being slain. If you do fight against your country's foes, your country's fat shall pay your pains the hire. If you do fight in safeguard of your wives shall welcome home the conquerors. If you do free your children from the sword, your children's children quits it in your age. Then in the name of God and all these rights, advance your standings. Draw your willing swords. For me, the ransom of my bold attempt shall be this cold corpse on the earth's cold face. But if I thrive, the gain of my attempt, the least of you shall share this part thereof. Sound drums and trumpets boldly and cheerfully. God and St. George, Richmond and victory.
A good direction, warlike sovereign. This I found on my tent this morning.
Jockey of Norfolk, be not so bold, for Dickon thy master is bought and sold. A thing devised by the enemy. Go, gentlemen, every man unto his charge. Let not our babbling dreams affright our souls. Conscience is but a word that cowards use, devised at first to keep the strong in awe. Our strong arms to be our conscience, swords our law. March on, join bravely, let us to it pell-mell, if not to heaven, then hand in hand to hell. What shall I say more than I have inferred? Remember whom you are to cope withal, a sort of vagabonds, rascals and runaways, a scum of Britons and base lackey peasants, whom their o'erclayed country vomits forth to desperate adventures and assured destruction. You sleeping safe, they brings to you unrest. You having lands and blessed with beauteous wives, they would restrain the one, disdain the other. And who doth lead them but partry fellow, long kept in Brittany at our mother's cost, a milksop, one that never in his life felt so much cold as overshoes in the snow. Let us whip stragglers o'er the seas again, lash hence these overwagon rags in France, these famished beggars, weary of their lives, who but for dreaming on this fond exploit, for want of means, poor rats had hanged themselves. If we be conquered, let men conquer us, and not these bastard Britons, whom our fathers have in their own land beaten, bobbed, and thumped, and in record left them their heirs of shame. Shall these enjoy our lands, lie with our wives, ravish our daughters? Hark, I hear the drum. Fight, gentlemen of England, fight, bold yeomen. Draw, archers, draw your arrows to the head. Spur your proud horses hard, and ride in blood. Amaze the welkin with your broken staves.
Rescue, my lord of Norfolk, rescue, rescue. The king enacts more wonders than a man, daring and opposite to every danger. His horse is slain, and all on foot he fights, seeking for Richmond in the throat of death. Rescue, fair lord, or else the day is lost.
A horse, my kingdom for a horse.
Withdraw, my lord, I'll help you to a horse.
Slave, I have set my life upon a cast, and I will stand the hazard of the die. I think there be 6 Richmonds on the field, 5 I have slain today instead of him. A horse, my kingdom for a horse.
Richard! Richmond!
Enter their bodies as becomes their births. Proclaim a pardon to the soldiers fled, that in submission will return to us. And then as we have taken the sacrament, we will unite the white rose and the red. Smile heaven upon this fair conjunction, that long have frowned upon their enmity. What traitor hears me and says not amen? England hath long been mad and scarred herself. The brother blindly shed the brother's blood. The father rashly slaughtered his own son. The son compelled been butchered to the sire. All this divided York and Lancaster, divided in their dire division. Oh, now let Richmond and Elizabeth, the true succeeders of each royal house, by God's fair ordinance enjoy together. And let their heirs, God, and if thy be so, enrich the time to come with smooth-faced peace, with smiling plenty and fair prosperous days. Abate the edge of traitors, gracious Lord, that would reduce these bloody days again, and make poor England weep in streams of blood. Let them not live to taste this land's increase, that would with treason wound this fair land's peace. Now civil wounds are stopped, peace lives again, that she may long live here. God say, amen.